peace on the peace on peace on the peace on the peace on peace on peace on the peace on peace on the peace on the peace on the chain.
One day I was invited into a worship and prayer group in the local church. I wasn't a religious person, but they offered free cookies and punch, so I went for it. When I went in, I saw a bunch of church kids and an old lady who looked like she was running it all. But after I entered and took a seat, the old lady locked the door and tucked away the key. She said,
"Well, it's time for our annual WAP session."
At first I was nervous, but realized what she probably meant. Oh, worship and prayer session, right? And then she just laughed innocently.
Nope.
She then ripped her clothing off and my gay heart couldn't take it. It was like looking at a cloud of tangled hairs and body parts sagging so low that it actually made my credit score look pretty good. And then I ran to the door, trying my best to open it with no luck as she did lock the door. Then I felt bony hands grab my head and pull me towards what was grabbing me. And then everything just went black. And all I heard in my unconscious state was,
"I say it's certified free, 7 days a week. Wear ass pussy, make that pull-out game weak. Woo."
Bob and Jack were ghost hunters. They would regularly visit cemeteries to try to see if they could witness some paranormal activity. They didn't know this would be the last time they would go ghost hunting. Bob and Jack decided to visit an old cemetery for the night. They set up their recorder on a random headstone and prepared to begin. They didn't turn their torches on as it was illegal to trespass in the cemetery at night. They crawled under the fence to avoid the caretaker. Jack set up his spirit box and said aloud, "We would like to speak to whoever lies beneath this tombstone." The only response they heard was a scratching noise that seemed like it was coming from beneath them. Calmly, Bob said, "Please, let us know your name." Again, all they heard was the scratching noise. Jack, a little annoyed, said, "We are not here to hurt you. We only wish to speak to you. Please, show yourself." Suddenly, both of them felt the air turn cold. They felt as if there was a dark and tall shadow that rose from beneath the tombstone. Bob and Jack were not afraid, as they came in contact with the dead plenty of times, but they soon realized that what they saw meant them no harm. The shadow swept down and engulfed them. It pulled them beneath the tombstone. The next morning, the caretaker of the cemetery found the spirit box recording on the ground. He turned it on, and this is the response he heard from each question.
"Yes, I am here. My name is Enemy Titties. If I show myself, you have to let me smash. I got you both."
Those were the last words from that recording. The caretaker quietly picked up the spirit box recording, knowing it was the only evidence someone left from illegally being in that cemetery. He tossed it into a pile with many other recorders. Go on, May. Go ring the doorbell. Yeah, go on. Why do I hang out with these kids? I'm always getting into trouble with them. They always do dumb things and always want me to join. have to ignore them and leave. May, just do it. You're such a loser. As I make my way to the house, the dark shadows dance across the grass. It's almost midnight at this point. Normal people are sleeping by this hour. I guess we aren't normal. I haven't been able to sleep since that man took me. The moon guided me up the pathway towards the house. I'm sweating more and more with each step I take. Why am I doing this? I want to go home and go to bed. It's not safe out here. This is too far. I turn back to look at my friends. They motion for me to keep going as they hide behind the parked truck on the road. I turn back and am greeted by the dark house. This house had so many stories about it, and the owner, but no one knows the actual truth. Some would say that a pedophile lived there and now it's abandoned with dead kids inside. Others said that the guy killed his wife. They don't know. He left in handcuffs and no one ever saw him come home. People report seeing lights going on, someone standing in windows looking out, and the garage door opening and closing at random parts of the day. All of this was spooky, and I didn't know if it was true. I reach for the door and instantly start to panic. I can't do this. If I do this fast, then maybe I can go home. I slowly raised my hand to knock. Before I could, the door swings open to reveal an old man. He was pale and skinny, not too tall, but not average either. He just stared down at me with dark, cold eyes. Can I help you? Oh, I'm sorry. My friends dared me to go see if anyone still lived here, I said, pointing behind me as I looked back. They had left me. They just left me here? What friends? He says, looking down at the road. Oh, they left, I guess, I said, feeling very uncomfortable with the environment. I think tension was present. He didn't say anything for a while. Just looked at me like he was contemplating saying something. Sorry for bugging you. I'll be on my way now, I said, taking a few steps back. I was just trying to get out of there as soon as possible. Why is he so creepy? Before I could walk away, the old man grabbed my shoulder. Where do you think you're going? He says, pulling me back towards his house. He shoves his hand over my mouth and picks me up with no resistance. I wiggle and thrash, trying to get out of his grasp. I can't do anything. I need to get out of here. I'm scared. The world turned white. May, wake up. Come on, wake up. I slowly come to. The area is so bright. Where am I? I slowly rub my eyes to try to see. What happened to me? I slowly take in my surroundings. Everything's so white. It's like padding. Oh no. Oh no. I'm back. It's the basement I was held in years ago. He was the one who took me before. I was only down the street the whole time. A warm, damp breeze across my face. The musty smell makes my stomach uneasy. Where did I go wrong? Who did I make upset to be tied up and blindfolded? I know there are others near me. I can hear some crying and others screaming out for help. I'm so dumb for falling for that trick. If only I had stayed on the playground near the other kids. My mom always told me not to go with strangers. But he wasn't a stranger. I knew him.
Mommy! I just want my mommy! Please, let me go!
A voice screams. I turn my head in the direction of a screaming child. I slowly inch my way towards him, being careful of the others. His yelling and screaming comes to a halt when a large door is thrown open somewhere in the space. All noise and movement stop as a loud booming footsteps travel down a set of stairs. Was it the man who took me? Did he have friends to help? The footsteps traveled across the room until they stopped right next to me. I was so close to the young child.
Well, well, well. Being too loud, aren't you? We better make you quiet before you escape,
Said a voice I know all too well. A scream from the boys rang out across the place. Stop it! Don't hurt him! Punish me instead! I yell without thinking.
Brave little guy,
A man says. Silence takes over the room, the air thick with tension. I slowly feel the blindfold being untied. As it falls, bright light fills my view. I blink trying to see my environment. The space has dark walls and flooring, but the spotlights light up the room. In the corner is a table, like one from the hospital, with a boy on it, who looks pale and weak. As the room comes into full focus, I slowly look up. I thought this was a joke, or maybe even a myth.
That's right, boy. Get ready for Daddy Pablo.
Hi, I'm Pablo. Do you have a child you really just don't give a shit about? Please, call the number on screen today. I have a huge basement I can put them in. Tons of punishing equipment. And I'll make sure I give your child what your child really needs. Please, call the number on screen today. Let your child get the love it really deserves.